Today you're listening to Grassroots Communities What Really Matters podcast, and we're going to be talking to young person Brandon Trambath from Knoll West. Let's kick this off then. How did we first meet? Do you want to explain in your vision what happened?
I met you at a job fair.
That's right.
I remember I went to a job fair because I was looking for a job, and I just finished college. I got kicked out of college, and I was like, what do I do with my life? I didn't really want to know what to do. So I was doing an apprenticeship. So I was trying to look for an apprenticeship or just do something in it. And then I remember I came to the job fair, and then I went to the room, and no one was sitting next to you in it. So I was like, oh, let me go chat to this guy.
Billy Noman.
I was like, let me go chat to this guy in it. Let me see what it's about. But everyone around me was very excited in it. So I was like, oh, let me go with it. I remember that day, where we went to the waves. In my head, I was like, I really don't want to go. But my sister forced me, and I'm glad she forced me, because ever since then, I've just enjoyed it.
Sister.
Then ever since then, I just enjoyed it.
It's funny that it's interesting, isn't it? The different perceptions of what happened. From my view, I was sat there, different people were walking in and out, and there wasn't that many young people, right? And you come in, I thought, him. You and Martin, I thought, hello, this is it, get them over. I'm pretty sure I was like that. Literally just, come on. You were kind of stood in the corner looking around, I don't know, probably thinking, I don't know what I'm doing here. Got you over, and it felt like there was a connection. For me, anyway. Yeah. It might have just been for me straight away because of what you were talking about. The things that you've been through when you were younger and how you were looking for that opportunity. Yeah. Well, maybe now's a good time to talk about some of those things. So, just one of the questions. What was it like for you growing up in your community? Things like challenges, positives.
It was hard because I never really had a dad in it. So, all the pressure was on my mum. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I never really sat there and really had anyone to talk to about boy problems growing up. Because you know what you're like when you're a teenager, hormones start kicking in. You start thinking, do I like girls? Do I not like girls? And I guess that was always hard, innit? Because I never really had a man to speak to. And I was raised by women, innit? So everywhere I'd go, there was a woman. So I'd always think, I just want a boy. I just want someone to just sit there and talk to. That's a boy that just understands boys. My sisters raised me, my nans raised me. So I never really had that man figure in my life. So there was times in my life where I would say I was easily influenced and easily manipulated to do things I didn't really want to do. But you have to do it because I was just I don't have a dad. So I need so I used to chill with the wrong type of people and do wrong things in it. But yeah.
I mean, do you want to say, again, don't say anything you don't want to say, but when you say that, because I know when I spoke to you, you said that, things didn't work out very well at school and you moved around a few schools, didn't you?
Yeah. So I was never really the best student in it because obviously I had dyslexia.
You didn't know though, did you?
But I didn't know that I had dyslexia in it. So I used to go to lesson, and just my brain could never sit there and focus in it. And I always thought that it's not that I was naughty on purpose. It's just I didn't know how to sit there and focus. I couldn't focus. I just couldn't do it. My brain just wouldn't allow me in it. And I guess because I didn't know in myself why my brain wouldn't let me focus, I used to get mad at myself and then take it on the teachers. And I guess that's why I was always naughty and things and that. But as I got to year 11, we must have did a test and then they found out I was dyslexic and I had autism and I have all of these and all of that. So I guess my whole school life, I was never naughty to be naughty. I guess I was naughty because I didn't know why I was naughty. Does that make sense?
No, there's reasons why. I mean, you wouldn't have seen because you were looking down there. I was grinning because I'm, not that it's about me, but there's similarities, you don't know, you can't focus on things, you're doing other stuff, messing around, whatever it might be. And until you kind of get a reason for why that is, I mean, it's not that we need labels because that doesn't help anyone, but at least it helps you understand, doesn't it, why you may be acted in certain ways. You were saying this to me before as well, so with your situation at home, it sounded like there was different times where different things happened and you had to deal with different situations. And it's the kind of, again, don't talk about anything you don't want to talk about, but I guess it's the kind of thing that other people may go through some of this stuff. And I just think it's refreshing that you've come out the other end.
Yeah.
We won't go into that too much, but say as much as you want.
What was the question? That wasn't really a question. You just did a
It's because I
statement.
don't want to ask you the exact thing if you don't want to talk about. But what I'm, basically, your situation with having to deal with situations when your mum wasn't around, about how what was going on.
Yeah. Now that was hard because like these times my sister's gone uni as well, so like it was kind of hard, and obviously like I said, I didn't really have a dad. So I didn't really have no one to like shout and take care of. So you had to do what you had to do. You know what I mean?
So were you having to basically sort yourself out financially? Not saying what you were doing, whatever. You were having to survive. And what kind of age was that at?
Like 14-ish, like 14 around them times. But
And how long was that for?
like 6 months-ish, but like I did have my sister because she would always be there but not be there but be there, you know what I mean? So like there'll be some days where I was just by myself and there'll be some days when I'm with her, innit? But it's life. You grow up, some people grow up too fast, some people grow up too slow, you know what I mean?
Well, there's no right or wrong way, is there? It's a journey. Do you reckon that age, like if you had a timeline, do you think that age 14 coincided with things going off in more of a negative way with school?
Yeah. I feel like till now I don't really understand life, but like I'm starting to underline it. And I guess at 14, like the pressure of school, because obviously my older sister, like she was smart at school, and it like she had all the grades, like she was going to university and things like that, innit? So there was always added pressure on me to be that. So I guess at the age, like trying to understand what I like what I'm into, and you know what I mean, and also growing up, and you got to remember, secondary school is a dangerous place. Like,
well, it can be. It's not for everyone.
It's not one of the funniest
so.
places. Like, you have to learn. I think secondary school gives you character building, innit? And I believe without secondary school, I wouldn't have such a thick
Where
skin.
did you go? Like most of the time.
Bridge Learning Campus.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like one of the only black kids in my year, and one of the only black kids in my school. There was like 4 of us together.
Yeah.
Like from like year 7 to year 11, innit? So that was kind of hard as well. And like the fact that like I was different as well. Because everyone in that school, like everyone had their life patterned in it. Everyone wanted to be builders. Like everyone knew what it was going to be in it. And like I was just a black kid in a white school that didn't really know what to do in it. But it's like I never tried to fit in it because I knew that I knew I was black. But that was always hard for me because like I couldn't really relate to most of them. You know what I mean? Because most of them had like dads, most of them had moms, like, you know what I mean? I couldn't really sit there and relate to none of them because, and I guess that was hard as well, the fact that I went to like a predominantly white school as well. But without it wouldn't make me who I am, innit?
Well, these experiences do shape you. I'd tell you what though, interestingly, like you say about like really noticing like the differences and not necessarily being able to relate to other young people when you were going to school. How have you found it as you've got older? You're a black boy, you know what I mean? Black man. And as you've got older, do you think that the differences outweigh the similarities? Do you still think there's it's harder to kind of engage with people, white people, or is it more like now he's just like makes no difference? I don't know.
First, I don't discriminate, just in case if any girls are listening.
He don't go out apparently, so you're never going to meet him, which is not true.
But nah, like you see me, like I'm cool. Like I'll be like my best friend. He's a suburban white kid, innit? Like he's like a white kid that's from the suburbs, never really had the same lifestyle as me, but like me and him are best friends, innit? And it's just, I don't really discriminate. Like, my things to me, like, we're all just the same people. We just have different color in it. Like, some people are gay, some people are black, some people are this, some people are that. At the end of the day, we're all humans, in it. And like me, I don't judge no one. So to me, like, I've never sit there and thought about it, in it. I'm like, I know I'm black and that person's white, that person's black. It is what it is. It's just life, in it. So like, I never sit there and deep the fact that, oh, I'm black, I should be chilling with these people, I should be chilling with that people. Nah, I'm not fussed in it, because at the end of the day, we're all people. And like, why do I want to sit there, yeah, and just deep the color of someone, or sit there and think, oh, you're white, I can't chill with you? Because we're in a generation now where everywhere you go, there's black kids, everywhere you go, there's white kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the next generation, in my opinion, they're all going to be mixed race, like, you know what I mean? So I don't sit there and think, oh, because I'm black, I can't chill with you. I feel no way. If you're funny, you're funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just how I see it. If you make me laugh, we're friends. Like, you know what I mean?
Tick on your youth work job application form. Well done. No, it's good to hear. I mean, you know, you never know. I mean, to be honest with you, I thought you'd probably say something like that, but you never know, do you? You never know until you ask the question. So, like, I guess kind of moving on a little bit now, and not to labour on things at home, but we spoke about something in the car a minute ago, and it was interesting to say, you said, didn't you, that you were tired after, so we had a gap session yesterday, the first session back from after Christmas. And I was like, tired? Were you tired from all that? And then, you said something else about, like, caring for your mum and your gran.
Basically, like...
your halo shines brighter every time I talk to you. Seriously.
No,
hats off.
Obviously, I got to take care of my mum and my nan, innit? Because my nan got dementia, innit? So, like, how do I put this? It's like having a big baby. Does that make sense? It's like looking
after someone else's needs, aren't you?
I'm looking after a big baby that just doesn't understand herself. So obviously I have to take care of her, and sometimes I've got to take care of my mum. But I don't mind it, because I've always been doing that from young, innit? Like, I've always looked after my mum. And like I said, I never really had no dad, so it's always been me and my mum anyway. Like, even though we fight every day, that's my best friend, innit? Like, that's my best friend, so I love her, innit? And my nan raised me as well, so I feel like I have to pay her back. Does that make sense? Like, she raised me when I was little. Every Sunday I used to go around Nan's house. Like, I used to eat my my egg and ham sandwiches for breakfast and cup of tea and watch Match of the Day all day. So, like, she used to take care of me when I was young, innit? So I feel like I have to pay her back, innit? And, like, I know it's not normal for a 20-year-old to, like, look after...
I think you'd be surprised, but it's a great thing you're doing. And it's like, respect, isn't it?
And, like, it's just, like, that's all I know. Does that make sense? Like, all I know in this life is to, like, take care of my mom and my nan. So in not doing it, I feel a bit weird. Like, my mom was in hospital, like, the other day, innit? And, like, it felt weird. Like, every 5 minutes I kept calling her, innit? Because I'm used to just being like, Mama, you okay? You okay? And not having her in our house, like, felt a bit weird, innit? But yeah, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes, innit?
Fair play. He answers his phone to mum, but he's not so quick on it when it's Ben. Oh, not him again. Fair play, mate. Seriously, I mean, and then those kind of values are the things you probably say that they're traditional values, are they? I think it's about respect and care and love, and if you have that for people, then you'll do what matters, and you're doing what matters. And I suppose one thing then to ask is, if there was other people listening who are in that situation, is there anything that you have done since caring for Nan and your mum that has made you feel kind of, I don't know, better about doing that, or about yourself? Because, I don't know, you're taking a lot on. It must be stressful and worrying at times, and lots of other things. Is there anything that's helped you?
The truth be told, it's just made me appreciate them more. Like, it's just made me appreciate, like, the little moments I have with them. Does that make sense? Like, the fact that I'm sitting there watching, like, I know my nan will never be my nan again, innit? But the fact that, like, I'm sitting there watching Mrs. Brown with her laughing, like, things like that's important to me, innit? Because I've always been, how do I say, like, not a mysterious person, but, like, when it comes to family, like, I've always been in my own bubble. Like, I've always done my own thing, innit? Like, till now I'm like that in it, but like when it comes to like family and that, I don't know why I'm like that, but when it comes to family, I'm normally like keep my distance. I normally do my own thing, and then if they need me, I'm there in it. But it's just made me realize and appreciate that, you know what, family is important. Like if you don't have family, what do you have in this life? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's
I
made me
agree.
appreciate when I have kids, like I hope that they treat me the same way I treated my mum.
I'm with you there, mate. I'm hoping.
But for anyone that's
I'm
going
hoping.
through it, the one piece of advice I would give you is just keep going. Like it will pay off in it. And I feel like doing that has motivated me more because like, yeah, like my mum wish in life is to like make my mum proud in it.
Well, she will be proud now, let
Yeah.
alone whatever else goes on in your journey. And let's be honest, this is like everything we've heard so far. Like, the journey isn't straight, is it?
Nah,
and I have a feeling it probably won't
Nah.
stay straight. But then that keeps it interesting.
But see, the way I see life as everyone's movie, innit? I believe that everyone has their own movie, and I believe that the people that's had the hardest life, I feel like their movie at the end will be brilliant. So I believe that, like, you know, in a movie you have like scene one, and then you get like the boring bits, and then you get the action part. I believe that like everyone has their own story, and I believe that everyone's story is good at the end. Yeah.
Get a contract off him, Dougie. So what kind of things do you do with friends out in the community? Is there stuff that you do now? Is there, you know, like, I don't know, activities, things? I know there's stuff that you used to do, but like nowadays.
Now with my friends in it, like obviously I've had, thanks to Gap, like I appreciate it all the time. Thanks to Gap, like I've had opportunities now to like change my life in it and like do things that I could only dream of in it. So like my thing is now is I want to make sure that all my friends are doing the same in it. Because at the end of the day, like I don't want my friends on the streets doing nothing. I don't want my friends doing all of this. So like my thing is now I'm trying to give everyone the opportunity Gap gave me, because I don't want to be that one guy that's had all the opportunity and everyone felt like I left them behind, you know what I mean? So like now, I guess in my community, I'm just trying to get people who I see talent in and try and get them in a place where they can express themselves in it. Because I genuinely believe Bristol, I believe that like we're up there with talent, but I just feel like we're a small city. Does that make sense? And because we're not the capital, we don't get a light on us, innit? So I'm trying to make sure now in my community, I make sure I find the people that I see talent in that got something and kind of take them under my wing sort of thing. You know what I mean? Because I want to make sure everyone has that opportunity, not just me.
I mean, it's interesting you say that. You heard me bang on about some similar stuff all the time. But I mean, it is a definite belief, and it's a fact, really. Young people have all the talent, like, but they don't necessarily have the opportunities. Gap is one opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's many more that, you know, other people might be interested in. But just the fact that you're even thinking in that way tells a story. I mean, I'm going to ask you, that seems like a real kind of slick segue into asking you a couple of questions about Gap. I mean, what were you doing just before Gap, and how did you feel about your life at that point?
Before Gap,
Just before it, you know?
to be honest, I was a lost soul. Like, I just got kicked out of college. I didn't really have a job. And I was like, I don't know what to do with my life. Like, I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't see myself doing it. And, like, I was, like, in a pickle. I was like, I really want to do this, but I feel like I'm going to end up doing this. And I know if it wasn't for Gap... Wait, can I swear on this? Am I allowed to swear?
No, boss. I was just trying to say yes. That's lucky. Come on, Dougie.
God knows where I'd be right now, innit? Before Gap, I was just lost. Like, I was so lost. Like, I didn't understand what I wanted to do with my life, but I always had a dream, but it was like, how do I get that dream? And then when I met Gap, when I was on the Gap program, it was like, my prayers have been answered. Does that make sense?
Oh, my word. Don't say all this kind of stuff. This is the kind of moment I start crying. You've seen that happen already, haven't you? Oh, my God. Here we go. I mean, that's brilliant. It's brilliant to hear. But can you kind of... I mean, funny enough, this next question, we done yesterday, didn't we? We were reflecting on Gap so far. So we're only 1/3 through, aren't we? Really, like, the grand scheme of things, there's, you know, quite a long time to go. It's a year-long programme. So the impact it's had already is pretty bloody immense, hearing some of that, you know, and you're not the only person that has said stuff similar. But I mean, what is it that you've liked about GAP so far, and what do you think could be improved? And be honest, whatever it is, it is.
Now, the one thing I liked is it's not college. Like, technically it's college because we do 2 days a week and of course, but like, it doesn't feel like college. Like, it feels like friends teaching each other things. Does that make sense? Like, it feels very family orientated, and like, I look forward to it. Like, every Monday I'm like, oh, I got GAP tomorrow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I look forward to it because it's the one time in the week, where like I'm stress free, and I look forward to it because like I feel like in that room I can be myself in it, and I just enjoy it because obviously the education's never been my strong point in it, and the fact that you can make
it is education,
but you wouldn't realize it's education because you do the education that that's always what's best for me in it. Like, my thing is I'm a practical person in it, so like if you show me how to do something, I'll do it. I don't like sitting there writing books, and I realize that's what's with GAP. Like, I'm having fun but learning at the same time.
What is interesting is because I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Emma said something as well. And basically, informal education, right? It's all around finding different ways so we can tap into everyone's different learning styles and the way that they might take and learn things. So it's got to be fun, creative, active stuff. Yeah, there's loads of discussion-based work, but, you know, like sitting around and having a chat, it's a check-in. You know, like the circle chat, the talking stick. What's that for? Everyone gets to say what matters to them. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's little techniques with all of it, but it's purposely to try and make people feel like they belong, so then they can give what they want to give and hopefully achieve what they want to achieve. But yeah, it's designed to be like that, and it's great to hear that it's working. What could be improved? Hit me with it.
No
pressure.
I would say like I feel like but I feel like you're gonna get that with every group of teenagers, isn't it? I feel like we're very off topic easily, innit? Like, we'll sit there, we'll be talking about, I don't know, community help, and then we'll sit there and then the conversation will turn into Russia versus Korea, So like, I feel like we never get to the point, but like, I just understand with the people we have on the group, and teenagers, you're always going to get that in it. Like, you're always going to get off to us.
I mean, I suppose you've already kind of hinted at it. Everyone is different ability, different background, different culture, different communities. It's our group. We've all got something to learn from each other. And that kind of is what it feels like a family with as well. And that means you've got just enough clout as anyone else to say, hold on, let's bring this back a little minute. Do you know what I mean? And do it. Because, to be honest, like, it'll work.
But I feel like we've got better, though. I feel like since we went to that place yesterday, I feel like it was weird because everyone was just quiet, and that's never really happened at GAP before.
Oh, no, it's because I put, like, sedation in there. There comes a tea. What's your GAP mentor like? Because so everyone knows, everyone through the programme has got a youth work or a voluntary sector mentor and a business mentor. So you've obviously got two. What do you like?
My mentor, shout out to him, innit? Shout out to Del, my granddad. I
love that. Don't worry him, but this is.
Yeah, he's the best mentor I could ever ask for, innit? Because he's got me in an opportunity, and he's sort of gave me a purpose in life now, innit? Like, he's gave me something I can sit down and walk towards, innit? Like, obviously, he's gave me the podcast, he's gave me this, he's gave me that. And like,
he's gave you the opportunity.
Yeah, and
you're stepping up.
Yeah, he's gave me the opportunity, like I said, to change my life and give myself a purpose, innit? Like, I know I'm not going to do that for the rest of my life, but you got to start somewhere, innit? And yeah, I feel like I had the best mentor I could ever have, in it, because in a way he's like a father figure but a best friend. Like,
he's a lovely bloke, like, let alone his experiences.
And like, the thing is, like, we can sit there and just joke, and like, we can sit there and have banter, and like, I love that, in it, because with my other mentor I can't really do that. Like,
Different, but that's the point. Different experiences, different people, and the whole thing about the mentors is to try and kind of open up doors to future opportunities based on your passions. But the other thing is as well that it's like the youth work mentor really was more kind of about supporting you as well and making connections whilst you were doing the social action stuff. And then the business mentor was about opening the doors to the opportunities. It just so happens, I mean, I knew that Dale would align with you anyway, hence why everyone has been matched for a reason. And he has aligned with you because it's the things that he's doing are exactly what you wanted to do. Well,
yeah,
I knew that, but it's the connection with him. You never knew if that would work, and it's amazing to know.
And I think ever since I got the opportunity, like, I've been happier in myself, innit? Like, you know how earlier I was talking, before Gap, I didn't really know what my purpose was. I was bare lost and loose and, like, trying to figure it out. But I feel like ever since I got the opportunity, I feel happier in myself. I feel like I got a purpose now, and I feel like it's my time to shine now. You know what I mean?
It's your time to shine, and you are shining. I mean, what's your plans for the future after Gap? You don't need to know, by the way. But if
I would love to keep coming back in it. Like, I would love to not be the face, but like,
he's pitching. He's a sneaky.
But like,
he's done this a few times. He's on it. He come in with his hoodie on, not this one, the Gap one. He goes, "I sleep in this, Ben. I don't take it off." I thought, when? And he told me it was rubbish for the first time I showed it to him.
But obviously, you know how, like, obviously I met you at the job fair.
Yeah.
Like, obviously keep helping you with that, innit? Like, obviously keep helping you with Gap, innit? Because Gap, I wouldn't say it's changed my life, but like, it's gave me purpose and happiness, innit? And I want other kids to have that. You know what I mean? And then explain to them that, like, I've been that kid that's like, thinks they're too cool for ting, innit? But you're never too cool to have help. Does that make sense?
No, we all
like,
need it. We all need
you're
it,
never
yeah.
too cool to find what you like, innit? And that was my problem. Because I was like, bun Gap, man, I'm too cool for that. Da, 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 da. Why am I going to be in a room with these type of people? Da, 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 da. But I guess I took that risk, and I'm glad I took that risk. So I just want to be the person that Gap, if like kids are unsure, they can talk to me about Gap. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, there will be an opportunity, you know, fingers crossed we can get it funded. If anyone can sponsor young people, get onto it, because it's like murder to get funding. Let's not go into that. But we definitely, this whole thing about creating like a pipeline. So at the end of, I said to you before, at the end of this year, next year, we want to have a apprentice or intern or whatever you call it, paid, whatever you want to call it, for a young person that's done Gap this year to be part of the delivery team to do it next year. But
are you going to keep trying to do that every year? Like,
because the whole point is that the whole, you know what my passion is about creating opportunities for young people. Yeah. And how can we be doing it and then expecting everyone else, all the mentors, to kind of support creating a pathway to opportunities when we're not even walking the walk? So we will be doing it. I mean, I don't know how we're going to fund it, but we will do it. But I have a funny feeling there's going to be quite a lot of interest from the group. So it'll probably have to, like, do some kind of application interview, whatever it might be. It'd be something, you know, basic. But no, 100%. And I'd love for you to be involved in some way, somehow, because you've got something to offer, and there's no doubt about it. And even if it's with grassroots communities or specifically with Gap, or it's supporting with other organisations to kind of get you in there so you get an experience of different things, you know I'm there, and I will do whatever I can. And I hope you don't doubt that.
Nah, doing, and this the thing.
Good.
When I'm rich and famous, I'll never forget about Gap, innit? I'll make sure that
this is on film. Get your money out. I don't want your money. I just want to see you achieve what you want.
And I want to make sure that Gap, because if you actually think about this year, Gap is like $1 million per idea. I don't understand why no one's ever done it before.
Wow, because they don't have the vision.
Exactly.
And they don't spend the time.
Tell them again, Ben.
They don't have the time, or maybe the same kind of view on life, to blend lots of different ways of working, lots of different things such as community development, youth work, psychology, blah, blah, blah. Blend it all together. You don't have to have one thing. Why is one model work? If there's good things and lots of stuff, bring it together. Listen to young people. It took 4 years of
No,
consultation.
young
Listen to
people's-
them. Do you know what I mean? It's shaped on what people said they want.
And I realized that people need to remember young people with the future, innit? Like, and I think a lot of older people forget about that, innit? I think they forget that we're the future. We're the ones that's going to change certain things, innit? We're the ones that's going to break down doors. We're the ones that's going to do this, innit? Because we still have our lives ahead of us. And I feel like, and that's what annoys me with like the government and this generation of things like that is people forget that we're the future. And I think everyone's thinking about now, but no one's thinking about 20 years time. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, there's another argument that people that don't necessarily forget that, you know, young people of the future, the offers that are put there aren't necessarily based on what is actually wanted or needed by the young person. It's for some other reason. It's basically, the word is tokenism. And I've seen it time and time again, which is why we took our time talking to people. Because at the end of the day, if you're not going to provide what's actually wanted, then you're just doing what you want.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that doesn't serve anything. Anyway, I could talk about that all day long, but thank you for that nice little bit of feedback. Get off your phone. This is something we're working on. Look, I can see that without even looking. We've spoken about, I suppose, we've spoken about the podcast, haven't we? A little bit. But, I mean, the next question is, do you feel like you have your voice heard? That links in with the podcast.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And big up your podcast. I mean, there might only be 3 people who watch it, or it might be 103.
Yeah,
Who knows? What is it?
And one thing I want to say is I was meant to say this all week to you, but I haven't. Thank you to you, innit, for the BBC thing.
Oh, mate,
because
no problem.
after that, she rang me and she was like talking in it, and she was like, basically, we want you to like be on the BBC in it. But she said, we want you to keep. She said at first we want you to upload the videos in it, and then if it does what we think it would do, then we'll have talks. But I'm trying to keep that to myself right now.
I'm trying not to swear now. Whoa, man! This is the point, isn't it? You just put the opportunities out there. Who knew? This is what I said to you at the beginning. Who knows what's going to happen? I don't know. This is all new. None of us are ever going to know. You just got to say yes and believe that we give a S-I, I can't even spell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
we care and go for it. That's amazing.
She was just like, I'll keep uploading it to BBC Sounds. We'll do what we have to do. And if it does what we think it would do, then we'll have conversations about having it.
Oh my gosh. Mate, amazing. Have you managed it? You all good with getting it uploaded and all the rest of it? They told you how to do it and all that kind of...
Nah, but I feel like it won't be that hard.
Especially yesterday. There was a few little gems, wasn't there? Yesterday when Rakane started saying about he's always been accepted into the RAF. I was like, whoa, oh my God. I'm surprised you didn't well, I've just, blah, blah, blah with the BBC.
No,
You've done well to keep that in, mate. That's amazing. What's the podcast called? Because some people might be watching this thinking, hang on, I don't want to listen to this. I want to listen to
It's called Stick to the Code.
Yeah.
Because we're all in this life of journey, and you got to stick to your values. So that's why it's called Stick to the Code. So yeah, big up that.
Where will they find it? Where do you have it?
Right now, we're trying to get on Spotify and YouTube, but we're having a bit of discussions on where we want to put it. They want to put on a website. But I don't think that's where the money is. So once I 100% know...
This is how our brains don't work. I got flipping clear. He's already on it.
Once we have that conversation, that meeting, it will know, but it will be on YouTube and Spotify, and you'll find some clips on TikTok as well. And make sure you follow the Instagram page and everything. Yeah. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because we've got a lot of things coming up for you guys.
Let me have the link, so I can put the link. If there's a link, I can put the link on the whatever we do with this. Yeah? And I can have a look as well and watch. I'm very proud, mate.
Thank you.
Oh, amazing. Another gap star shining bright. Right then, me old fruit. Last question.
Yeah.
Get off the phone.
I will.
What really matters to you?
I guess being a role model. Like, I guess being what you are like to me, innit? Like, I would say you're a role model to me, innit? And that's what matters to me, is to make sure that role models like you keep living on and making sure that...
But you are one.
exactly. And if it wasn't,
Everything you just said then.
yeah, I guess so.
You are. You absolutely are.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to put? I mean, yeah, another thing that we always say is like, if you've got an ask, something that you want from the world, what would that? I mean, it could be something you want, like work-wise. It could be something you want, I don't know, emotionally. It could be whatever that is. But is there something? If you could put an ask out to anyone about something that you really want, whatever that might be, what would it be?
I want everyone to be themselves, treat everyone nice, and I want everyone to just not be afraid. Like, if you believe in yourself, you can do it, innit? So that's what I want the world to have, is I want everyone to just have confidence in themselves and just say, bun it, like, you know.
Done it.
Yeah, like, bun all that fear, bun all the scares, like all the insecurities. If you want it, just go get it, in it. And I feel like this generation and the generation that's coming up, I feel like everyone's talented, in it. And I want to make sure that the world I want to make sure that we keep producing talent, in it. All types of any country, because the world we're going to live in is scary, innit? So I want to make sure that everyone has a talent and passion and they don't lose that passion. Yeah. Big up the world.
Nice. Well, look, I mean, one thing I will say, if any of your mates are watching this and they're people that you think have got talent and they just...
No, don't worry. We've already had them conversations. You know me, I'm a businessman.
No, but I'm just saying, like, for GAP next year, if there's people that feel like they've got the talent but they just haven't had the opportunities for whatever reasons, then get in touch next year. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, I'll make sure of it.
If you're a young person and you've listened to today's show or any of the other What Really Matters podcasts and you want to get your voice heard, please do get in touch and let's talk to you about what really matters to you.